Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of WrestleScope Weekly. I am John. Thank you very much for tuning in on this Saturday. Excited to be here with you today. And we've got a lot of things to talk about here in the world of professional wrestling. Before I get to that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And we're going to be welcomed in. Come on in. What's up? What's the matter? Oh, wait. Well, come here. We're going to welcome in officially. This is WS3. That's right. We have WrestleScope Jr. Now we have WS3. Show everybody what you just got. Was that yours or is that your brother's? Oh, yeah, WS4 ended up getting that. Very cool. All right. Good job. He will be making more appearances on the channel as we move forward. Maybe we'll get some predictions from him in the world of wrestling. Close the door behind you, please. Thank you. I apologize to to anybody that's going to be listening to the audio version of this podcast. Oh, my goodness. Yikes. Let's hit mute on that. There we go. And give me a second here. I need to do a slight adjustment on my camera. There we go. I still got to work this out. There we go. All right. As always, like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please don't forget to follow us on all of our other social medias as well. Comments are already starting to come in. Frankie, awesome. And hello to Rich. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Lots of things to talk about. And for those of you that may have seen the screen that was up before the show, it's still Miller Park to me. Hey, it's still County Stadium to me. All right, Rich, for those of us in Milwaukee, it's still County Stadium to me. Okay, but that's for another podcast at another time. We got a lot of different things to talk about today. We will, depending on how my voice holds up. My voice is in really rough shape right now. We may do a round of Ask John Anything, but this is the 61 days of WrestleScope. We are officially now on day number 45. 45 days. Holy cow. We may talk about that one a little bit later, Frankie. All right. We may talk about where is the Velveteen Dream. But what I want to do first is talk about kind of a sad story. And it was announced yesterday by PW Insider. They were the first ones to have it, that New Jack, ECW legend New Jack, had passed away. I guess he had a heart attack in New York and passed away. And if any of you did not get a chance to see it yet, Paul Heyman, being the utter professional that he is, just the amazing human being that he is, on Talking Smack today to close out the show, did a tribute to New Jack. And if you have not had a chance to see it, unfortunately, I can't share it here because I don't own the rights to the video, but I'm sure you could find it if you're on Twitter. Actually, I retweeted it on Twitter. Follow at TV_wrestle, and you'll be able to see it pretty close to the top of my timeline. Just an absolutely amazing 2 minutes from Paul Heyman, paying honor to a man he knew extremely well. And I think the kind of the funniest thing that he said out of all of it was, typically in these things, when we talk about a wrestler that has passed away, we show video footage. We show highlights of this person's career. Well, New Jack, we kind of can't do that because the great majority of his stuff was not PG. And that's true. He was not known for the PG era. That's not who he was. As a person, as a performer, that just, he epitomized gangsta. That's what he was. But Paul Heyman just did an absolutely amazing job paying honor to, like I said, a man that he knew extremely well. So we send our well wishes and our best to the family of New Jack. It's a shame that we have lost another great performer from the 90s and the early 2000s, again at such a young age. Way too early. It was natural causes, but still way too early for that to happen. So again, we send our well wishes and our prayers out to the family and friends of New Jack on this terrible loss. Let's go ahead and switch gears here. And I'm not, as I was saying at the beginning, I am not going to get into the story that I was going to open things up with right away. And actually, I'm going to be adding something in at the last minute here because, oh, darn, I lost it. Oh, no, I got the story up, but I'm going to bring this up too. We are going to talk about Wrestling Wars and some comments that Eric Bischoff had to say about, excuse me, AEW versus WWE and Wrestling Wars. And if anybody knows about Wrestling Wars, it's Eric Bischoff. But I want to start off with some news first. I want to talk about Chris Jericho, and there is a strong possibility right now that he could actually end up missing Double or Nothing. If you watched AEW Dynamite this week, you saw that he came out with the giant brace and his left arm completely wrapped up after his fall at Blood and Guts match. And he legitimately was injured. I believe it was Dave Meltzer reported that he had actually dislocated his elbow during that fall. And there's a possibility he could be out 4 to 6 weeks. Now, with Stadium Stampede, they could potentially get around this injury and be able to protect him, because it is going to be a cinematic style match, much like it was last year when they did this, or 2 years, whenever they did it the last time that they did this. I believe it was last year. And they could cover for it. They could get around it. Or there's a possibility that Chris Jericho will not be able to perform in that match. And if that happens, there has been some speculation going on online that could Chris Jericho get a replacement? And who could that be? Still too early to tell, because we are, we're 2 weeks out tomorrow. We're 2 weeks out as of tomorrow from a Double or Nothing. And hopefully we will find out, probably not this coming week, because I believe this is going to be one of those taped episodes of Dynamite. But coming up in a week and a half, maybe we will hear more. Yeah, going back real quick, yes, RIP to New Jack. And yes, Dark Side of the Ring last year did an episode on New Jack. It was really good. And just to deflect here a little bit, if you happen to catch the Nick Gage one, wow, that one, I had a tough time watching that one. I really did. But I think we will talk about that. Very interesting comment here. If Jericho's unable to go, could Mike Tyson be a suitable replacement? Tyson could be. We haven't seen him in 6 weeks. He was there, and now aligned with Chris Jericho. I potentially see somebody else coming in. Maybe it's a new signing. Maybe, it could be a lot of different things. We will have to watch. We'll have to watch Dynamite over the next couple of weeks and see what happens. Hopefully Jericho is able to go, but we shall see. This feud is... I'm going to make an early prediction here. I know if the Inner Circle loses, they have to disband. There is no way the Inner Circle loses this match. Chris Jericho has said that Blood and Guts was just the beginning. It's not the culmination of a feud. It's the beginning. So this is going to stretch out at least through the summer, if not until Double or Nothing next year. And there's a lot they can do. But Chris Jericho with this injury, I mean, it's pretty serious. It is a serious injury. But again, with it being a cinematic match, they may be able to cover up for it. We shall see. All right, let's go ahead and jump into, well, actually, I do want to jump into some other news here real quick. Very interesting turn of events over the last few days here. You may have seen the story about Thea Trinidad, formerly known as Zelina Vega in the WWE. Very well known that she was released from WWE back in November for not following along with the guidelines from WWE about having content on third-party platforms. Her husband then, Aleister Black, kind of disappeared off TV. All of a sudden this week, actually it was on, I think, Monday, it was announced, Monday or Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday actually, that it was announced by Fightful Select that Zelina Vega was at the WWE Performance Center. It was Tuesday morning, and she was actually filming something there for WWE, along with Simone Johnson, who was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's daughter. And more reports started coming out about, okay, what is going to be happening with her. And I guess there is a plan in place for Zelina Vega to return to television, and it's not going to be in NXT. It's going to be on the main roster. Nobody quite knows what is happening as of yet. It's very interesting that this is going down right now. Could she be aligned with her husband? It's a possibility. There is a possibility she could be aligned with her husband, or will it be somebody else? Will she take on that managerial role again, much like she did for Angel Garza and obviously for Andrade? Could she end up doing something with Angel Garza again? That is a possibility. We don't know. Obviously, she did not appear on SmackDown. I would think she would be on Raw. Could we potentially see her on Raw this week? Or WrestleMania Backlash? I don't know. It's a possibility too. That would be a shocker. But if they're filming something of her walking into the PC, I think it's going to be some sort of a video vignette of her returning, and it's going to shock people over whatever reason. Though, taping a vignette at the PC, that screams NXT. And could she be aligning herself with Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma? I don't know. They really don't need her, though, because all three of those guys are great on the mic. Andrade needed her because he was struggling with his English. His in-ring skills were fantastic, but his communication was not that great. So that's why they teamed her up with that. Frankie, I just saw your comment. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. We'll get to that one in a little bit. The other thing, speaking of Zelina Vega, we have to talk about Andrade. And again, Fightful Select breaking a lot of stuff this week. They also reported that Andrade had been in talks with AEW. He has been a free agent now for quite a while. Does not have a 90-day no compete, so he could have gone. No, actually, he does have a 90-day no compete. I'm sorry, which actually wraps up here, I think, in the next few days. I'd have to look back and see, but it sounds like he may have been in talks with AEW, and we know that a door has already been opened. That proverbial forbidden door has already been opened, as he has issued the challenge through AAA to challenge Kenny Omega, who is not only the AEW World Champion, the Impact and TNA World Champion, but also the AAA Mega Champion. And Andrade has laid the gauntlet down and says, hey, I want to fight Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship. That is a match I would love to see. And it would be at Triple Mania, which I've heard conflicting reports. Originally, I heard it was in July. Then I heard it was in September. I have to check and see. But is the door open there for Andrade to show up in AEW? That's where me and a lot of people thought he was going to end up originally, and it hasn't happened quite yet. So we shall see. The other thing I want to hit on real quick, just in the news, and this is one of these things. Now, I don't consider myself to be a professional wrestling journalist or anything like that. I'm just somebody that I like to follow a lot of wrestling journalists. I like to talk about things online in the world of professional wrestling. And this is one that has driven me nuts this week. There's been a lot of questions around about Bray Wyatt. Where is Bray Wyatt? What is happening with him? And there was someone, a dirt sheet, that began throwing around reports that, Bray Wyatt is having mental health issues, that he's having, problems going on, and something happened, related to the death of Brody Lee and so many other things. And that's why he's barely been on television. Now, there may be truth to the case that Bray Wyatt has been having difficulty with the loss of a close friend in Brody Lee. That's a strong possibility. But throwing out rumors like that, baseless rumors, is absolutely ridiculous. Now, Fightful Select, again, had a report, and I'm going to read this verbatim for what they wrote. In regards to rumors circulating about why Bray Wyatt has been off of WWE television as of late, we won't speculate on personal issues, but talent said that they were not aware of such a situation. We, being Fightful Select, had met multiple talent on the WWE roster saying that they've seen him a handful of times and he seemed fine and was backstage at more than one episode of WWE Raw since WrestleMania, though it hasn't been in the last couple of weeks. Talent that we spoke with, again, Fightful Select, and staff that has worked closely with him recently believe that Wyatt wants to be on TV and also had not heard of a specific reason that Wyatt was off of television. Now, does this mean there's not a mental health issue going on? No. Is it any of our business if there is? No. If he is having a difficult time dealing with the loss of a friend, let him deal with it. As wrestling fans, it is none of our business. What we need to be doing, if this is the case, is supporting him. And mental health issues are nothing to joke about, no matter what it is. And especially with men. As a male myself, we struggle with sharing our feelings and talking about other things, talking about issues that are going on. And if this is the case with Bray Wyatt, hopefully he is talking to people. Hopefully he is communicating and getting help. But going out there and spreading false rumors about it is absolutely ridiculous. There's one thing about spreading, rumors about storylines and whatnot. Okay, that's one thing. But when you're talking about the personal health and well-being, whether it's physical or mental health of a person, is completely wrong. And I don't like it. I think it's idiotic, and people should not do it. All right, let's go back to comments here real quick. Frankie, not a fan of Andrade. You fall in line kind of where I'm at with Charlotte and Kenny Omega and some others. I am not a fan of Kenny Omega. I'm not a fan of Charlotte Flair, but I think they are massively talented people. I'm just not a fan. Will we see Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? Wrestle Kingdom next year. Maybe it will happen. I don't know. Random Brick Review. Hope he's doing okay. There may not be a place for the Fiend right now. They're running. Yeah, it is kind of a poor storyline they're doing with Alexa Bliss right now. I was a huge fan of it for the last 6 months or so, but when it took its turn at WrestleMania, I don't know where it's going. We may find out more tomorrow night on WrestleMania Backlash, which I hate calling that pay-per-view that name, but that's what it is WrestleMania Backlash. We shall see. Could she? I think she's going to get involved in the women's triple threat match. I really do. Well, Frankie, if you had watched the WrestleScope prediction show last night, which I encourage you, once this feed is over, once the stream is over, go back in and watch the Backlash prediction show that not just myself, but WrestleScope Jr. made his official debut as part of the WrestleScope team last night, and we made our predictions. I am going to talk about it a little bit at the very end of the show, but I guess I could go ahead and go and say it. I don't think it's going to happen now. If it's going to happen, it will happen at the very first live SmackDown with fans in attendance. They are not going to put the belts on the Mysterios until there are fans in the stands. Why it didn't happen at WrestleMania? I don't know. Well, because they didn't do the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on WrestleMania. Okay. I will have to check that out, Rich. I know Braun Strowman has been one that has been very vocal about mental health issues. And, this isn't the first one we've dealt with here. Remember, Lars Sullivan had the big issues over the last couple of years with his mental health, with anxiety attacks and everything else. It's important that, first of all, mental health issues are not a weakness. It's something that it's kind of that hidden taboo thing that people, especially men, don't want to talk about. And it's a difficult subject, but more people than not deal with it. And a lot of times people they hide it. They don't share it. And again, if Bray Wyatt is dealing with something, we need to show our support to him, not just as a performer, but as a human being, as a person. And if it's not the case, even if it is the case, fake wrestling journalists should not be, and I don't even want to call them a journalist. People that pretend to break stories shouldn't be talking about that stuff. They really shouldn't. All right. You are watching and listening. If you're listening to the podcast, oh, darn it. You know what I was going to do, and I forgot to do it. And you know what? It's not too late. I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to break protocol here real quick. I was actually going to go live on TikTok as well, and I totally forgot. But we're going to go ahead and do it right now. So we're going to take a quick pause and things, and we'll keep talking. Keep talking. Yep, go ahead and get your... I see comments are coming in. Go ahead and get your comments in. I appreciate it. I will get to those. I just got to get this set up right here. Okay. And... see, that's what happens when you delay the show and then you're running late and then you want to do something and you totally forget. And I haven't done anything live on TikTok in a while. So I'm due for one. No. Get that off. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. So I'm going to apologize. I was saying at the beginning of the show that I was hoping my voice was going to hold up because the spring cold has hit the WrestleScope household. And everybody, with the exception of my wife, has a cold. So what are you laughing about, Mel? Oh, TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. Yes, TikTok. Actually, hold on. Let me go back to Frankie. Yes, mental health is becoming... hold on, let me do this. Mental health is becoming more okay to discuss now than it was in the past, but we really need to open things up more. All right. I am now going to say hello to TikTok. Hello, TikTok. This is WrestleScope Weekly. I am John. Thank you for tuning in. So we are streaming. This is the first time I've done this, streaming on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Twitch all at the same time. Yes, I'm still learning the whole Twitch thing. Still trying to figure out the whole Twitch thing. But yep, we're going crazy with streaming everywhere. If another platform pops up, we may go ahead and do that as well. But this is WrestleScope Weekly. Thank you very much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. We will talk about WrestleMania Backlash in a little bit here, but I do want to get to it again. If you were on YouTube and you saw the teaser post on there, the teaser picture, I asked this question: can ThunderRosa be the next belt collector? Now we know. Hi, Mel. On TikTok. We know Kenny Omega has been doing the belt collector gimmick for what, about 7 months now. And I actually want to check something here because I was thinking about this earlier and I cannot remember which wrestler it was. Yeah, had it down to 2. Oh, yes, there we go. There we go. Some of you may remember Ultimo Dragon. Let's see. Yep, Ultimo Dragon held 10 different titles during a 2-month period from December 1996 to January of 1997. He held, let's see, the WCW Cruiserweight Championship, the NWA North Middleweight Championship, the J Crown Octuple Unified Championship, which was 8 different belts, a New Japan Pro Wrestling title, and a whole bunch of others. Then we had Austin Aries. He had 6 championships. He had the Defy Championship, the Impact World Championship, the IPW UK World Championship, Defiant Championship, the WSW World Championship, and the Impact Grand Championship. So there was a lot of belts right there that we've seen multiple times. And obviously Kenny Omega is now up to 4. He has 4. He's got obviously the AEW World Championship, the AAA Mega Championship, and the combined Impact TNA Championships. But the reason I bring up ThunderRosa, there she is, my number 2 favorite wrestler on the planet right now. The reason I bring her up is recently she has talked about how, Frankie, maybe we'll do Instagram too. We'll see. I need another device to be able to do that. I don't have enough devices to be able to do that. Anyways, ThunderRosa had comments recently on AEW Dark, I believe it was, talking about how she wants to get her NWA championship back from Serena Deeb, how she is closely watching the match at Double or Nothing between Hikaru Shida and Brit Baker. Hikaru Shida, who is obviously the AEW Women's Champion right now, the number 1 contender, Brit Baker, who, early prediction, Brit Baker is going to win that title. She is going to win that match. As much as I love Hikaru Shida as the champion, it's Brit Baker's time. She's going to win it. And immediately you have to think ThunderRosa is going to be right back in there in the title hunt, but Britt Baker is going to be that great heel champion, and she's going to hide from the top contenders. You know, she'll maybe take on, you know, some of the younger ladies that appear on Elevation and Dark, things like that. And she is going to hide from the Ty Contis and from the ThunderRosas and Jade Cargill. Though it's hard to tell, is Jade Cargill a heel or a face? I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell right now. And I think, I actually believe ThunderRosa actually has a match with Serena Deeb coming up very soon here. I am trying to look that up right now. I thought it was announced that we were going to see ThunderRosa versus Serena Deeb on AEW very soon. But I don't want to quote the wrong thing here. Let me see if we can find it. No, I'm seeing deleted cage matches. I'm not seeing it here. I could have sworn I saw something announced the other night that it was going to happen, but I'm not seeing it here. If anybody in the comments knows, that would be great. But that match is going to be coming soon. I see ThunderRosa winning back that NWA Women's Championship very soon. And Britt Baker, she's got to hold on to the AEW title for a while. It needs to be a title that's not hot-shotted. And the way I'm thinking about it is ThunderRosa is very active all around the United States and into Mexico with not just AEW and NWA, but also she's doing things with her Mission Pro Wrestling, which is absolutely fantastic, and just so many other things. I really see her being able to do a lot more. There's a lot of other organizations that she could get involved in. She's been doing stuff with Women of Wrestling. She did have a history with Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, so many other places. Have ThunderRosa win the NWA Women's Championship. Pick up a couple of other belts along the way elsewhere. And then when we get to Revolution next year, you have a champion versus champion, title for title match. Brit Baker versus ThunderRosa. Very much like we just had Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann, but it's promoted bigger and better. Imagine that. And ThunderRosa is the one to defeat Brit Baker for that AEW World Championship. Absolutely fantastic. So I do want to get to a couple of comments. Jordan Grace, female belt collector. I could see that. I was actually disappointed when they announced that Jordan Grace had signed with Impact Wrestling, that re-signed just, what was it, a week and a half ago. I was really hoping for her to make her way over to AEW. I would love to see her in AEW. Bayley is not going to do it. The only way she could do it is if she becomes Bayley 2 belts again. They're not going to have her win any belts outside of WWE. Tennille Dashwood, she's got to pick up a belt first. She's got to get a world championship first. Is Tennille Dashwood the one to knock off Deonna Purrazzo? I don't know. We shall see. You know, could we see ThunderRosa go into Impact and win the Impact Women's Championship? Too many comparisons would go with Kenny Omega there. I understand that, but I would love to see this happen because ThunderRosa has been one of the best female wrestlers in the last 18 months. I mean, Britt Baker has been fantastic. She really has been. But hang on a second here. I'm sorry, my wife's sending me messages. Dinner's done, but hey, it's going to have to wait. All right, because we're in the middle of a broadcast, dog on it. Even though she did make steaks with onions and peppers and mushrooms and everything. I'm trying to make you hungry right now, folks. That's right. But we're going to stick with this for a while. So, can it be done? I think it could be. I think it would be an interesting storyline to run with a woman. That a woman has never done anything like this. And I think ThunderRosa is that talent that could do it. She is becoming more mainstream now, especially now that she's been on AEW. Obviously, that match that she had with Britt Baker, the unsanctioned match, really opened a lot of eyes to people that didn't know who ThunderRosa was. And now they know who she is. She is an incredible talent, has a great work rate, but also does fantastic things to help younger talent as well. So could we see it happen? I would really like to see it happen. I got to get the call-in feature going. Well, Frankie, you never know. We might do it. We shall see. We've done it before. We have done it before. So, all right, let's get rid of this. I do have one other thing I want to talk about here. And this came up as kind of a late plan. And Eric Bischoff, love him or hate him, Eric Bischoff had an interview just a couple of days ago. And if anybody knows anything about wars in wrestling, it is Eric Bischoff, because obviously he was the man at the forefront of the Monday Night Wars with Vince McMahon. 83 weeks. Monday Night Nitro beat Monday Night Raw. He still lives and hangs on to that banner, has that flag staked into the ground, and does it. Hold on a second here. Wait. Caleb, hold on. I gotta check that. Shadow Wolf. No, Bayley is not a jobber right now. I want to address that. Bayley is not a jobber. Okay, so don't say that. She will not win tomorrow night, but she is still one of the top women in WWE. Hands down. If anybody's going to end up beating Bianca Belair eventually for that title, it will be It will be Brit Baker. I mean, I'm sorry. It will be Bailey. Okay. Okay. First of all, Caleb, I don't know where you saw that, if it's the one you're thinking of. But no, she's not dead. She is not dead. So I'm not even going to talk about that. We're not even going to mention that here. Let's go back to our conversation about Eric Bischoff, though. He was on, I'm sorry, I have to bring this up on my phone. He was on the Foundation Radio with Adam Barnard. And Eric Bischoff said that if AEW really wants to dominate the wrestling world, they are going to have to take the fight to WWE. Now, you know, if you watched the Monday Night Wars, which I lived through all of that live and loved it, especially that 83 weeks. The 83 weeks was absolutely fantastic. Eric Bischoff was not afraid to take direct shots at WWE. And Vince McMahon kind of did the same thing. They took their shots as well. Shots were fired across the bow all the time. We're not seeing that so much right now. Only once, really, has WWE acknowledged AEW, and that was during the appearance of Chris Jericho on the Stone Cold podcast, on Broken Skull podcast. So they haven't really recognized them. AEW takes shots every once in a while. You know, they do things obviously for, you know, for the marks out there and for other talent. They'll do things. They have not taken a direct shot at WWE. And here's the exact quote from Eric Bischoff when he appeared on Foundation Radio. I know what everybody wants to talk about, what was the Wednesday Night Wars and comparing AEW to WWE. And here's what has to happen for that to be viable. The AEW WWE approach, AEW's got to go head to head. There's got to be a fight. There has to be a battle. Eric Bischoff continuing on Foundation Radio, going back to storytelling. What are the stakes? In a case where you're laying down as AEW versus WWE match, champion versus champion, okay, that sounds really cool if you're a cosplay wrestling journalist and a fan of those people. But it only works if there are stakes. And the only stakes that matter are who turns out the bigger audience. That's a fight that people will get behind. That's a fight that people want to be a part of. Eric Bischoff, again, with Foundation Radio, believes that it was that fight that got fans so invested in the Monday Night Wars of the late 90s. Again, this is a quote directly from Eric Bischoff. That's what happened during the Monday Night Wars. Why did it work? Because it was real. And because people were invested. They were invested in the characters. They were invested in the fight between the two companies. That actually was more important to them, whether or not they knew it. From a storytelling perspective, the battle between WCW and WWE was a more interesting story than the battle between the two people in the ring. And that's why it worked. He had more comments, but I want to stop right there. Do you agree or disagree with Eric Bischoff that AEW needs to... Okay, I'm going to have to decline that. Needs to go head-to-head with WWE. Take a look at the numbers right now that are watching wrestling on a weekly basis. Raw is drawing between 1.7 and 1.9 million fans a week. NXT is drawing about 800,000 fans a week. SmackDown, about 2 million a week. And AEW, right around that million mark. And that's spread over 4 different nights. Back in the heyday of the Monday Night Wars, there were over 10 million people watching wrestling on a Monday night. You're not even getting that total between 4 different nights of wrestling on television. And one of those nights is on free TV. It's not on cable. The fans just are not there anymore. Can you draw people back? Yeah, maybe you could pick up a couple 100,000 people. But I think while Eric Bischoff's comments are valid, I think in the state of wrestling in 2021, I think a head-to-head battle between the two biggest companies in America would be a huge mistake. We saw it between NXT and AEW. We saw, what was it, about 1.7, 1.8 million fans between the two every week. You've moved those two apart, and it was obviously people going back and forth because you are not seeing mass growth for AEW. They have seen a jump. You have not seen mass growth for NXT. So realistically, we are working with somewhere between 2 and 2.5 million wrestling fans watching wrestling on TV every single week right now. You are never going to gain that 5 to 7 million fans back again. They are lost forever. Whether it's they're older now, or they were younger when they were younger when they watched and they just don't have an interest. They have no investment in things anymore. It's really hard to say. And Caleb, you get to see Chris Jericho in September. That is awesome. Live Morgan, thank you very much for sharing the video. Greatly appreciate that. Do have a comment here. Let's see. Back to Rich again. AEW did a great job consistently beating NXT in the ratings. Again, but you've got the A show for AEW going against what is obviously the C-level show for WWE. Yes, they are. Well, they're not getting that close to Raw's ratings right now because AEW is stuck at that million point. They actually didn't even draw 1 million viewers this past week, which shocked me. With the stacked card that they had, they did not hit 1 million. Raw is consistently going down. I would not be surprised, depending on what happens tomorrow night. I would not be surprised if Raw drops to 1.5 million within the next couple of weeks. They may see a bump on Monday night, back up to 1.819. But by the time we get to just before Money in the Bank, I would not be surprised if Raw dropped to 1.5 million. And if that happens, and if AEW could get back up to that 1.1, 1.2, then we could start talking about AEW beating Raw in the ratings. Then we could start having a serious conversation about that. I honestly do not think Tony Khan or Cody Rhodes or anybody else in AEW is going to want to go head-to-head with Monday Night Raw. That is wrestling suicide right now. Back when it originally happened, when Nitro first debuted, Raw was kind of an inferior product. It really was. It was a garbage product, and Eric Bischoff saw an opportunity to do something unique, and that's why it worked for 83 weeks for them. And they put on very compelling television. You know, they brought in the NWO. They did a lot of things that really changed things, and they obviously they bumped up. They really bumped up what needed to be done, but it was a different era of wrestling. We are 25 years removed from the beginning of that war, and it's changed dramatically. You know, I've been a fan through all 25 years. I lived through 2000 era WWE. You know, I lived through those last couple of years of WCW. It was bad. We saw TNA have a feeble attack on Monday night that lasted, 3 weeks, 4 weeks against WWE. You just can't do it. While there is validity to Eric Bischoff's comments, if he really means AEW, Dynamite needs to move to Monday, that's idiotic. Now, if AEW wants to start taking shots at WWE on Wednesday night, go for it. I think what they should do, if AEW really wants to start taking shots at WWE, guess what? They have programming on Monday nights, which is a lot better than Raw, even though it's on YouTube guess what? Use your YouTube, use Elevation to start taking shots. You got some people on the mic that maybe aren't top stars in AEW right now. Platinum Max Caster. That young man, holy cow, is absolutely phenomenal. He's a great talent, but give that kid a mic. If you haven't seen what he did to Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss this past week, you need to go check it out. Search it online, find it. I believe it was on Elevation. You got to watch it. And Acclaimed is taking on Moxley and Kingston this Wednesday night on Dynamite. Oh my goodness. What is Max Caster going to have to say? I want to see a war of words between Eddie Kingston and Max Caster. Please make it happen. Please make that happen. That would be absolutely fantastic. But again, like I said, if AEW wants to start an actual war with WWE, maybe start having things mentioned. You've got enough former WWE talent in the company. You've got a guy on Elevation that spent many years in WWE in Paul White on commentary. You've got him. You've got Taz on Tuesday nights on Dark. You've got Shivani, who spent a little bit of time in WWE. You've got Jim Ross. Well, I don't think Jim Ross would do it. He's too much of a professional to do that. But you never know. Why must we argue and fight as fans? Wrestling's wrestling. As wrestling fans, we should love the fact that we have wrestling 5 days a week. No, I agree with you, Frankie. I'm not saying that fans need to fight. But if we're going to get the fight between two organizations, let it happen. I think it'll be fun. There is a little bit too much negativity from wrestling fans right now. And it's all driven by Twitter. You know, I got to address a couple things here on TikTok. Michael Campbell, my weekend's actually going pretty good outside of the fact that I'm sick. Let's see. Marcus with a great question that I'm going to bring up in just a minute. So hold tight on that question. I will bring that up. And Frankie, once again, let's see. Yep, back in the day, we had a bounce between channels. I did that. It drove my wife nuts. I would sit there. I didn't have two TVs. I would click back and forth between the two. It's not like now where, I've got, two TVs in the studio, 3 screens, an iPad, and a smartphone where I could literally watch 6 different wrestling streams right now. Actually 7 if I really, really wanted to. I think my head would explode if I did. I really do. But so honestly, I really don't think there's much validity to the comments that Eric Bischoff made. I think he is wrong in what he said about AEW having to go head to head with WWE. Again, I think that is just wrestling suicide if you do that. And I'm sorry to use that term. As we were talking about mental health earlier, I don't mean to discount suicide. So I apologize for using that term. All right. You know what? We're at the 50-minute mark right now. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm not going to open the stream to call-ins today. We're not going to do that because I actually want to wait. What I'm going to do, I am actually hoping over the course of the next couple of weeks to have some guests pop in. And I am working on some things, not so much interviews, but guests to join the stream. I'm looking forward to that opportunity to be able to do that. Yeah, Frankie, I just saw your comment about the match. Yeah, please send that to me. I would love to see that. That would be absolutely fantastic. But let's do this. Come on over. All right, so we're going to welcome into the stream. We saw WS3. We're going to welcome in WS4. Okay, can you show everybody on my streams what did you get? Show them what you got. Is that a racing sausage? Is that the hot dog? Do you like that? Yeah, that's the hot dog.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yeah, it's a hot dog.
Look it.
I got a couple of guys that are from Wisconsin that know the mascots. Okay, Frankie, Rich, that's the hot dog, right? Tell WS4 that's the hot dog. All right. Did you eat your dinner?
No.
No, not yet. Okay.
Eat it in the living room.
You're gonna eat it in the living room? Okay. Well, Frankie, why don't you guys do the podcast anymore? You guys should. So, anyways, what I was saying. See, I know that's the hot dog. I'm working on and having some guests in, not just Noah, WrestleScope Jr., but some other people. The conversations have been had already. Working on some things, just have to work on timelines with certain people because a couple of the people that I want to bring in are in a dramatically different time zone than me. And, you know, the times that I'm available is super late for them. So it doesn't work. And I work a full-time job. I've said that before. Wrestling is my passion. It's not my job yet. I'm hoping someday to maybe turn this into a job. We shall see. But anyways, I am going to open the door to Ask John Anything, and that is for Twitch, that is for YouTube, and that is for TikTok as well. Go ahead and ask me anything. And I'm actually going to start off with a TikTok question. And this is from Marcus. I can't even read your whole name here. I can't even see your whole name here. What do I think of a Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso against each other? I think that's going to happen. That is the way they need to go. So back to a question that was asked earlier about the Mysterios winning the tag team titles. That will not happen tomorrow night. That will happen further down the road when there are fans in the stands. Maybe if there's a pay-per-view coming up soon, another pay-per-view where they're going to have some fans in the stands, that's when they're going to do it. And it's going to be the Uso brothers that are going to be the ones to knock off the Mysterios and take the tag team titles. That is at SummerSlam. That's down the road. They are going to build up Jimmy Uso, much like they did Jey Uso. Jimmy and Jey are going to have a match at some point in time, possibly at Money in the Bank, or they're both in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't know. But there is going to be a feud. We will see Jimmy versus Roman at some point in time this summer, either on a SmackDown or on one of the middle pay-per-views. And while we're talking, let me see if I could find the WWE pay-per-view schedule for 2021. I know some things are changing around quite a bit, and I have to find an updated one. Yeah, nothing has been updated online. Oh, here we go. This is from a couple of weeks ago, from Metro UK. Let's see. No, they only have two listed. They have Backlash and then Money in the Bank on June 20th. Well, because actually they haven't even locked down any other dates right now. Let's go to the rumored ones. CBS Sports had this back in April. And why is this going so darn slow? My goodness. All right. Extreme Rules in July, SummerSlam in August, Payback in August or September, Clash of Champions. No dates because obviously all of this is in flux right now. Though WWE is talking about going on the road as of July 16th. So we shall see what ends up happening with that. But again, Marcus, I think it's going to be a good feud. Let's see. Tatted King, when do you think there will be fans again? Well, We already know AEW has announced in July they're going on a touring schedule. And WWE just announced this week that they are going to be starting to go live with shows on July 16th, which would be SmackDown. So we know that's happening. All right. If I had a stable in wrestling, pick 5 and why. Are we talking current active wrestlers? Is it current active wrestlers? If you're talking currently signed to a contract with a company right now, whether it's United States or wherever, I can answer that one. My very first one would be Walter. Absolutely, Walter. That would be your big guy in there that can do so many different things. My second one, well, you have to have a tag team in there. You've got to have a tag team. And I'd have to go with FTR because I still believe they are one of the best tag teams in the world. Have to go with FTR. Let's see, 2 others. And I'm really basing it a lot on kind of the old 4 horsemen thinking. You had the star, you had the tag team, you had the muscle. Walter is your muscle. FTR is your tag team. Who would be the star to lead the group? That's a tough one because there's a lot of guys out there that really could fit into that role. I'd have to go with Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman at his side. Definitely, could you imagine, just a grouping of Roman, Walter, and FTR would be phenomenal. And the fifth, I would actually have a woman because you need to have that strong female presence. And that's what I would do. I would go with Ty Conti. I would go with Ty Conti because she is, I was talking about my favorite female wrestlers right now, and Ty Conti is number 1. She is my number 1 because there is so much upside with this young woman. She has done so many phenomenal things in the last few months. I think her partnership with, kind of the loose partnership with Dark Order is absolutely fantastic. It is working out well for her. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at notifications on my phone. And I think she would just be a great addition. So, yep. My stable, Walter, led by Roman Reigns. FTR is the tag team. Ty Conti as the female. Frankie with another question. Favorite movie of all time? It's hard to narrow down to just one. If it's one of those times where I'm sitting back and flipping on the TV and something is on and I've got I'm no matter where the movie is, I'm going to jump in and watch it. I've got 3. Major League, the first Major League, Bull Durham. Wow. And the third, the third is actually Shawshank Redemption. Those would be my 3 right there. Another one. Where is Nikki Cross? Okay. Nikki actually made her comeback on Main Event this past week, defeating Naomi. She has actually been in school. She's actually been taking college courses, and I don't think it was a master's degree, but she just finished up a degree. So she's been very busy with that. Hopefully we are going to see her back on the main roster, on a main show very, very soon. But that's where Nikki Cross has been. The biggest miss or mistake in pro wrestling in the last 10 years. How would I fix it? Wow. Going back to 2011. Well, most recently is just about any of the NXT call-ups. God, they have just botched every single NXT call-up. There has not been a good one in the last couple of years. You take a look at the list. Damian Priest, Keith Lee, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Dominic Dijakovic, and Dio Madden, Mia Yim, Shane Thorne. They've screwed up a lot of them. Boy. Elsewhere in the world of wrestling, boy. I think it was more than 10 years ago, but I had mentioned the TNA trying to go head-to-head with WWE. Big mistake. Would have never done it. How do you fix it? Well, first of all, when you bring up talent from up to the main roster, here's the biggest mistake. The booking of Asuka. Or is it the booking of Shayna Basler? Ooh, both of them. Two completely dominant women in NXT. You know what? I got to put Shayna Basler up there higher. That's my top one right now because I've talked about this one before. Shayna Basler has been made to look like a complete goof on the main roster ever since she came up. I mean, she had the biting incident with Becky Lynch, which went nowhere. She's been in this god-awful tag team with Shayna Baszler or with Nia Jax. Get her. I'm going to say it as clear as day. Get Shayna Baszler the hell away from Nia Jax, please. Let this loss last night be the end. Let Shayna Baszler go to Raw and start beating the crap out of people, and we get the Shayna Baszler from NXT back again. They have booked her horrible because Vince McMahon, there have been multiple reports, Vince McMahon did not get Shayna Baszler. He did not get, it goes back to a match that Shayna and Natty Neidhart had a couple of years ago after her call-up that Vince didn't get it. They tried doing a traditional wrestling match, and he didn't get it, so she had to change her style. That's why if you go back and watch 2 years of NXT when Shayna Baszler was there, during her run as the NXT champion, how she wrestled to how she wrestles on the main roster, it's completely different. That is one of the biggest screw-ups they have had. Got to go back to TikTok here. Let's see. Where do I see Ronda Rousey going? Oh, Seabreeze, how you doing, buddy? Where do you see Ronda going after she comes back? Is she going to come back? She's pregnant. Earliest we would see her would be maybe WrestleMania next year. I don't know if she's going to come back. I really don't. I really do not. But we shall see. What is going on with the Alexa Bliss thing? Tata King, that's a great question. I have no freaking clue. But I think we're going to get an idea either tomorrow night or Monday night of exactly what is happening and who her target is. Seabreeze is dying for a Sting Darby Allin match. It's not going to happen. Sting cannot do a match against Darby Allin. Just two conflicting styles. It's not going to happen. And Seabreeze is also pounding the table for Tessa Blanchard since she's been working out on Twitter. She is close to signing somewhere. It's got to happen, though. I think it could be Mexico. I think it's going to be Mexico. If she hasn't signed with AEW yet, I think she's going to go with her husband, Daga, in Mexico. Yeah, Seabreeze, people were saying that Ronda was coming back before she got pregnant. Well, guess what? She's been pregnant since, February, January, and people were talking about January and March about her coming back. They didn't know. Okay? Yes, hashtag, where is Keith Lee? That is the gazillion-dollar question. Where is he? Okay? Are there any indie talents that need to be signed by WWE, AEW, and Impact in the next 3 months? Unfortunately, I don't know enough about independent wrestling to be able to answer that. But I will tell you, there is a young woman out of Chicago that needs to get a shot with AEW. And they have done a phenomenal job with bringing in female talent from the independent scene. Okay. Actually, I'm going to name two that I want to see on AEW Elevation in the next 3 months. First of all, out of Chicago, freelance wrestling, Missa Kate. Missa Kate, and I have been all over Twitter on this. I haven't done it in the last couple of weeks. Missa Kate needs a shot in AEW. The other one, he's made a couple of appearances, backstage things in WWE. This guy has the look and the talent. He is a future star, and he's still young enough. Also out of the Chicago area. I don't know if he's wrestled for freelance or not. Matt Dawar. If you have not seen Matt Dawar wrestle, you need to check him out. Those are the two talents that I know personally that need to get signed or brought in at least for a look by AEW. WWE, I think it would be great to see both of them get signed for the Performance Center and get NXT deals, but I think they would be better served to go to AEW and apply their trade on Elevation and on Dark. Those are my two. Let's see, a couple of questions here. Marcus, I am not familiar with Barrett Brown, so I can't answer that question. And what happened to Sasha after WrestleMania? I think she may have been filming some stuff for the second season of The Mandalorian. I think that's why she's gone. Will we ever get four horsewomen of NXT and of UFC? I don't know. Marina Shafir is not wrestling. She's still working for WWE, but she's doing stuff for digital. We don't know about Jessamine Duke. What in the world is Jessamine Duke doing? And Ronda Rousey's the big wild card. Maybe WrestleMania of next year. I don't know. Yes, Matt Dawar is amazing. You know what? Sierra is another one, Frankie. Yep, she is an amazing talent as well. I don't know how many eyeballs have been on her. She has got to get out of the Midwest, though. I think that's the thing that's hurting her right now is I don't know how much traveling she is doing outside of the Midwest. She has got to start doing shows elsewhere. And I think who could really help that is this lady right here, ThunderRosa with Mission Pro Wrestling. She has publicly said, hey, I want women's names, because it's a women-run, women-only organization that put on phenomenal shows and great matches. We're not talking, Barbie dolls and bikini kind of matches. We're talking women that get out there and wrestle and beat the crap out of people. And if anybody could get them hooked up, it would be her. Yeah. Oh, Stacy Shadows. She's actually made a couple of appearances with Ring of Honor. She's the real deal. She's won Stacy Shadows versus Nyla Rose would be incredible. Stacy Shadows versus Ryo Mizunami. Oh my goodness. That would be off the charts if that could ever happen. That would be one. She is an incredible talent. Another one. Well, she's done national stuff. She's got connections with Ring of Honor. She'd be another one I would love to see. Yes, Missa Kate is a phenomenally talented young woman, and I have been pushing for her. Please go follow her on. Actually, you know what? Let me do that. I'm gonna do her a solid. She is a sweetheart too. I've had the pleasure of working a couple of shows with her. I am actually going to put in the comments. This is her Twitter. Hopefully it puts it up there. Yes. Please follow Missa Kate 11 on Twitter. Let her know where you found her. Let her know WrestleScope. I wouldn't be surprised if she did spend a little bit of time in OVW. I would not be surprised by that. But it was OVW after WWE ended their relationship with them. So, sorry, I'm just looking at some messages here. All right. Yep, very good. Yeah, she's got a great Patreon page too. She puts out daily quotes. She's absolutely fantastic. Let's see. Seabury's like the Dark Order as heels better. No, I like Dark Order now. I really do. Eventually, they are going to have to get another leader. Maybe not an exalted one type leader or anything like that. They're going to need to get somebody else in there as the face of the group. Yeah. Oh, Mysticate versus Sky Blue was a phenomenal match. You know what I need to look at, though, too, is the other woman that I want to see officially get signed by AEW is Allison Kay. Also known as, she was Sienna in Impact Wrestling. She's a former NWA World Champion, but is not signed to anybody right now. And Fightful Select was supposed to have an update on her. They didn't post anything though, so I don't know what is happening with that. That is one that may actually be my point of conversation for tomorrow, is what is going on with Allison Kay. Johnny Hungy to lead the Dark Order. That would be interesting. I mean, he is definitely the charismatic one out of the group. They need to bring somebody else in. Just imagine if Brody Lee had not passed away, what the Dark Order could do. You know, please don't break them up. I love them as a group because they've got so many different characters. I mean, you've got John Silver. You've got the original two and Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. You've got the guy who is definitely going to be the breakout star in that group in Preston Vance, number 10. Alex Reynolds and Five are fantastic as well. As soon as Anna Jay comes back, you can have Anna Jay and Ty Conti in the mix. I mean, they are just such a phenomenal group. Hold on. Did I wait? I think I missed a question on here somewhere. Brock, I'm trying to scroll back. I don't see a question from you. Can you, Brog82, can you repost your question? Because I don't see it. I do want to answer it. Seabreeze is saying Orange Cassidy at NXT. Not. Yes, I know. I forgot about Colt Boom Boom Cabana. I'm sorry. About that. No, Justin, I have not heard anything on Tessa Blanchard. I mean, that's the name everybody's talking about. The only thing I keep hearing is that it's most likely she's going to go to Mexico because her husband Daga, that's where he is right now. And I think that might be the best move for her, is do a little bit of time either in CMLL or AAA and then work her way back to the United States. She's still young enough. She doesn't need to worry about that. Absolutely does not need to worry about that. Well, we have officially set the record now for, okay. Oh, Brog82. Okay. What do I think of John Cena coming back for a 17th title run, even for a month? Well, John Cena actually, I haven't seen it. He has commented on a return. It would be a huge mistake if they brought John Cena back to win a championship. It doesn't need to happen. Look what they did with Goldberg. It was a disaster. Nobody needs to break that record. Okay, I'm going to say it now. Don't bring him back into a title match of any sort. I don't care which title it is. It doesn't help anyone. It would be on the levels of Goldberg, beating a Kevin Owens, or Goldberg beating Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, or The Miz cashing in and winning the title as a transitional champion to be destroyed by Bobby Lashley. It would be worse than that. So it doesn't need to happen. Yes, Vince would destroy Orange Cassidy. He wouldn't understand it. Now, Triple H, maybe, no. Orange Cassidy is going to be AEW for life. Okay? Cena will not come back as a heel. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right. I think Seabreeze heard Sasha could appear after Bayley and Bianca match, challenge Bianca for a rematch. It's a possibility. But then what do you do with Bayley? What does Bayley do next? Unless triple threat between Sasha, Bayley, and Bianca, that would be a great match right there. It would. Though, I'd like to see Bayley as Miss Money in the Bank. I'd like to see that. That would be a lot of fun right there. Bayley as Miss Money in the Bank. Okay, let's get one more in here. Justin asking, who do you think takes the Universal title from Roman Reigns? I have no clue at this point. I have absolutely no. Who was it talking about it today? I was watching somebody today. I think it was Tempest the Wrestler on Wrestle Talk. I believe it was him that had said the person that's going to beat Roman Reigns, he's not there right now. It's either somebody that hasn't been brought in or hasn't been brought up. And I tend to agree with that one. You think it's going to be Seth at SummerSlam? I see them feuding. Seth is not going to be the one to take the title off of Roman. Dear God, no, please not Brock Lesnar. No. All right, thank you, Frankie. I appreciate that. I will definitely check that out later. I'm actually going to try watching Impact Under Siege tonight. I'm going to throw something out here real quick. Impact Wrestling is actually, if you go and I have to double check that I wasn't charged for this. They said on their Instagram earlier, and I am going to look right now and make sure I wasn't charged, that if you put in the code Under Siege in Impact Plus, that you would get 2 months of Impact Plus for free, which means you can watch Under Siege tonight. I am just going to make sure right now that I was not charged for it, because it was really hard to tell what was going on. And if I was, I am going to be kind of upset, because it does not look like I was. So it looks like I may have gotten it. Yeah, nothing showed up there. So, okie dokie. All right. So, let's see. Oh. No. That's all I'm going to say is no. Karrion Kross is not going to knock him off. Shield 2.0 with Rollins, Reigns, and Lesnar? No. Seabreeze. Walter versus Roman could be entertaining. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. I have to answer this one. And Frankie and Rich, you can jump in on this one too. This comes from Seabreeze over on TikTok. Is Aaron Rodgers going back to the Green Bay Packers? Yes, he will. He'll be here. They will not start the season without good old number 12. Even though we signed the living legend Blake Bortles to a 1-year deal. No, it was a smart move by the Green Bay Packers to bring in a veteran backup, give Jordan Love some more time, let him be that number 3 guy. Aaron Rodgers will suit up for the Green Bay Packers this year. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so that's it. Wow. Hour and 20 minutes. Holy crap. We've really gone for a long time here tonight, haven't we? That's all right, though. Having a lot of fun, enjoying it. Thank you so much for everybody for jumping in here for joining in on the conversations. Thank you to TikTok. Thank you to Twitch. Thank you to YouTube. Greatly appreciate it. For those of you listening to the audio version of this, I hope you've enjoyed it. I know this is kind of a different one. We are in the midst of the 61 days of WrestleScope. This is day number 45. 45 straight days of me coming on here and rambling about things. Not for an hour and a half. Some of them are 4 or 5 minutes. Others are longer. But we're having fun. For my friends on TikTok, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, why not? I've got 3,800 people following me on TikTok. I should have at least 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by now. Why I haven't, I don't know. The link is in my bio. TikTok, you can go to my bio, click on the link for the link tree, and you can go to my YouTube channel. If you're watching on Twitch, same thing. Check out YouTube. My big goal, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube and 10,000 here on TikTok. TikTok, I know I've got to do some more on here. I haven't been doing a lot lately. So please check out the links in my bios. You can find all my different social media, everything. I've got them scrolling right there on the bottom, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Also have a Patreon page, which I'm not putting any paid content up right now. I'm actually going to be starting to write some stories over there, putting some stories up. So it's really going to act as my website. So please go on over and save my Patreon page. If you'd like to become a Patreon, I'd greatly appreciate it, but you don't have to. No paid content up there right now. Everything is free for the viewing for everybody for right now. And that's the way it's going to be for a while. Unless I come up with some really, really interesting stuff, the content is going to remain free because I want people to come to the site and see what's going on. Wow, really, Rich? Really? And Frank. All right, we're going to stop at the Aaron Rodgers comments. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Somebody did have the question about Eva Marie. That's right. And I do, Justin, I'm sorry. Yep. I don't know what in the world they're doing with her. I'm very confused by these vignettes. Everybody I've heard talking about it is very unsure about what's happening too. It almost sounds like she's coming in as a babyface. And I'm a little bit concerned, but I'm hesitantly excited because we need a new woman in the women's wrestling scene in WWE. It's been very stale with the same 8 to 10 women circling around. Hopefully they do this right, but I got a bad feeling about it. It's not going to be her fault. Eva Marie has been working very hard at the Performance Center for the last couple of months, working on her in-ring skills. We'll see. But I'm not overly positive about it, but it is what it is. All right, I am going to jump out of here. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Again, I greatly appreciate it. Again, please follow me on all my different social media. I don't spam a lot of stuff anywhere. You know, I know I need to do some more. Need to get some more content up on all my different channels, but would greatly appreciate it. Easiest thing to do is click on my bio on whatever you're on, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, or Twitch, or if you're listening to the audio podcast as well. And please, here on YouTube, give a like to the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be always notified about what is going on in the world of WrestleScope and the world of professional wrestling. Let me state this. I will not be doing live reactions to WrestleMania Backlash tomorrow night. I usually, for pay-per-views, am on Twitter doing a lot, but we have 2 different family events going on tomorrow night that if it wouldn't be me, I'd have Noah jump in and do it, but we are both busy until probably the end of hour number 1 of the pay-per-view. So I will not be able to be tweeting anything. I may come on I probably won't come on tomorrow night with reactions. If I do anything, it'll be earlier in the day tomorrow. Monday would be kind of the reaction day on YouTube, but we shall see what ends up happening. All right, have a great night, everybody. Ice King, oh my goodness, you're in late, buddy. We're all done. I'm wrapping up here. Best thing to do, head over to YouTube. You can watch the whole show again. If you're watching this on replay, please leave your comments as well in the YouTube. I will be answering all the comments that come in afterwards. Greatly appreciate it. This has been WrestleScope Weekly and day 45 of the 61 days of WrestleScope. You guys are awesome. Love you very much. If you're going to watch Under Siege from Impact tonight, enjoy it. If you're watching WrestleMania Backlash tomorrow, do your best to enjoy it. Go back and check out the predictions video. You will be shocked with one of the predictions that I have for sure. You will be shocked. Oh, that's what I need to do at the very end here. Sorry. It is now time to address you as your reigning, defending, could be disputed Wrestling Daily I'm a Good Egg prediction champion. My predictions are up and official. Will not be adding or changing anything. This goes out directly to El Fakador Lori Blake and the Nugget Louis Dangor of Wrestle Talk. You guys are running from me. You're running scared. And I know your predictions. I wrote your predictions down. I wrote my predictions down. And we shall see. I am willing to bet Louis Dangor's good money that I am going to come out with more correct predictions from WrestleMania Backlash than either of you. Now, I know your feud over the Jamnet Championship belt comes down to one match alone, and that is the triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship. You guys split your decisions on that one. But I'm going to channel Paul Heyman. This isn't a prediction. It is a spoiler. I am going to beat both of you. And what I want to happen is when I beat both of you, whoever that champion is, I want to challenge that person for Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the Wrestling Daily I'm a Good Egg prediction champion versus the Jam That Champion from Wrestle Talk. Let's make it happen. No more ducking me. No more avoiding me. I'm going to prove, because I was one of the only ones that predicted Bobby Lashley was going to retain his title against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. It's out there. I don't remember any of you guys from Wrestle Talk doing that. We're getting some last-minute comments in here. I want to get to them. Hello, Vanessa. Oh, my God. Now you're going to make me want to stay in here. You're going to want to make me stay in here now. But that's right. The champ is in the house. The challenge has been laid down. Now, but I will also say, if by some completely odd set of affairs, I do not beat both El Fakador and Louis Dangor, I will come on here Monday and I will admit that I was wrong. But I'm still going to hold this championship belt because I am the reigning, the defending, no longer disputed Wrestling Daily I'm a Good Egg wrestling prediction champion. All right. Vanessa, I'm going to ask, and I'm going to keep the comment to myself here. I'm going to keep it private. Do you have any good news? That's all I'm going to ask. Do you have any good news for me? All right. I think we're going to wrap this up. I'll let you guys look at the belt. And yeah, the question still is, where is Keith Lee? This is going to stay up until we find out where is Keith Lee. Okay. All right, I am going to wrap this up. Thank you very much again. Oh, we've hit the 90-minute mark. First time for this show. We've gone 90 minutes. Yes. Thank you to everybody on TikTok. Thank you to Twitch. And thank you to YouTube. I love you guys so much. You are all so awesome. And thank you to Rich, my new subscriber. You're awesome too, dude. Frankie, thank you for bringing subscribers over. This has been the WrestleScope Weekly Show for you. I am John. Have a good night, everybody, and we will talk to you tomorrow. And TikTok, I'm going to say goodbye to you as well. Thank you very much.